Hi, and welcome to Spotlight on Bensenville. My name is Frank DeSimone, Village Trustee, and I'll be your host for this episode. Tonight we'll be discussing Bensenville Emergency Management with Don Schultz, EMA Coordinator. Don, welcome.
Thanks, Frank.
A couple of questions we want to talk about and inform some of our residents on kind of what you do and what we have to offer. So what is the function of the Bensenville Emergency Management?
Again, in one word, preparedness. But we do that in multiple ways. We work with the village departments in reviewing our emergency operation plan. I work to maintain and develop the emergency operating center, which is the central location that key officials and department heads would work from during a major emergency or disaster event. And again, this is preparedness for those large-scale disaster events, and then try to promote preparedness for the residents through different educational material on the website or training classes that we would offer for residents to attend.
Okay. We talked about hazards and disasters, and there's some obvious ones out there that we could face. What the hazards or disasters can impact our village?
Well, you mentioned some of the obvious ones: transportation with air traffic, the airport being next door to O'Hare, the rail yards, highway, Route 83, major highway in our area with some of the hazardous materials that travel up and down the highways and the rails, things like that. Severe weather, is another thing that we focus on. The effects of extreme heat, cold, the summer storms, which obviously include tornadoes and things like that. The one thing I did want to mention and make sure that the viewers understand that these are not unique to Bensenville. It doesn't make Bensenville like, man, they have a lot of hazards that face Bensenville. They're pretty common to just about every community throughout the country.
Mm-hmm. How could EMA assist the village and help us prepare for these types of hazards or disasters?
Well, again, we review and update the emergency operation plan, and then to go a step beyond that, we test the plan by conducting exercises with the departments and village officials to see if there are any pieces of the plan that need to be changed, reviewed, updated, and try to eliminate problems that that might be within our plan, and try to get the departments and working together as a team, especially during these large-scale disaster events, that we're eliminating duplication of effort and managing our resources to the best that we can.
So you train, obviously, and then once you get it all laid out, you're hoping that your training kicks in case we have a disaster, that everything runs seamless. So we're proactive instead of reactive.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How do we notify the residents if there is a disaster or a hazard that they need to be aware of?
The one, probably our best way of notifying the residents is our reverse 911 system, which is called Code Red, and that's the name of the company that we work with to provide this system, and it's all based on phone numbers, home landlines or cell phone numbers, and we would we record messages. They can be pre-recorded, or we could go live and record message specific to the event, and then send it out to the entire village, or we could identify a certain area that we would want to call just people or businesses, residents within that area, and give them the information on what's going on. Safety information, stay out of this area, don't do this, that kind of information, just to inform the residents and businesses.
So with this notification system in place, do we sound the sirens? Depending on what kind of event we're having?
Yeah, we still use the sirens. Pretty much those are specific to severe weather. That's what That's what pretty much everybody, equates the sirens to, is for severe weather, tornadoes.
Okay.
We still have them. They're still a great tool. They get people's attention, and then we would push out a message through Code Red to, give them information on what happened, or what areas were impacted by, if we were hit by a tornado, and that kind of information.
AM 1620, what is that? Tell me a little bit about that.
That's another tool that we have. It's a low power AM radio station. You've probably seen them along the highway. We're for information tuned to 1610, or it's usually on the 1600 side of the AM radio band, or the low end down around 700, 780. Or our radio station is 1620. We were able to get that installed many years ago, and it's just we record information on there that people can tune to that station, and again, get information about what's going on. Obviously, we don't have emergencies or disasters every day, so there's just basic information, phone numbers to the village departments, and just some basic information day to day. But we can switch to an emergency mode with pre-recorded messages, or again go live if we need to, and use 1620 to again get information out to the public.
So does that run even though there's not a disaster? I mean, you can tune to it and there'll be some kind of recording?
24/7 it runs. I do have to say that right now, because moving into our new facility, we were able to upgrade the system and move from a digital voice recording, which limited us to the amount of time we had to record messages, to basically unlimited amount of messages that we can pre-record. So we're in that process right now of switching over. But yeah, you can tune to that, any time of the day, and get information.
Are there other types of assistance that the EMA offers?
Well, we support the police, fire department, public works with assistance on the street with trained personnel when there's a traffic accident that maybe they need a few extra people out there to handle traffic control. Same thing with around a fire scene. We'll come out and assist police with those duties. So either they can go on to the next call, or whatever the case may be, we'll certainly step in and assist. Lighting is another thing that, at an accident scene or a fire scene, that we can definitely help out with.
Nice. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
The Water's Edge Aquatic Center is conveniently located in the Redmond Recreational Complex in Bensenville. The Water's Edge is home of Fenton High School and Wahoo swim teams, featuring an indoor 8-lane lap pool and diving well. The Aquatic Center is available for private functions and parties. Learn to swim, stay in shape, or enjoy recreational swimming year-round at the Water's Edge Aquatic Center.
The Bensenville Community Library, serving a community of readers. Whether you're old or young, a lover of words, music, or computers, the library has something for you. Check out our new Kindles, toddler jams, story and movie nights, or a variety of other activities offered. For more information, call us at 630-766-4642 or check out our schedule on the web at benlib.org. The Bensenville Community Library, celebrating 50 years of library service. Staying connected is important, and at the Village of Bensenville, it has never been easier to keep up to date with what's happening in our community. On your phone, PDA, PC, laptop, or tablet, the Village of Bensenville website offers easy integration, so you'll stay connected at home, in the office, or on the road. To follow us on Facebook, simply go to the Bensenville homepage and click on the Facebook icon in the lower left-hand corner. This will take you to the Bensenville Facebook fan page. Once there, click the like button to add us to your newsfeed and receive regular updates from around town. To follow us on Twitter, simply go to the Bensenville homepage and click on the Twitter icon in the lower left-hand corner. This will take you to the Bensenville Twitter page. Once there, click the follow button to add us to your Twitter feed and receive regular community updates. To receive email and cell phone notifications, click on the Notify Me button. This will take you to the Notify Me dashboard. Once there, simply add your email address and/or cell phone number at the top of the page, and then select which service you would like to receive updates from. The most common update section is in the Newsflash Bensenville News. Click on the envelope icon for email alerts and on the phone icon for phone alerts. You can choose one, the other, or both. To watch our public access cable show or board meetings, simply click on the Bensenville Web TV button on the lower left sidebar menu of the homepage. This will take you to our streaming center, where you can play current and past Bensenville cable TV shows and board meetings. To pay your Bensenville utility bill online, just click the Online Payments button and then follow the instructions provided on our secure payment site. If you have any problem, concern, or question to tell the village, then click on the Bensenville Action Hotline button. This will take you to the Action Line dashboard, where you can explain your issue and receive a response within 48 hours once you have clicked the Submit button at the bottom of the page. Staying connected is important, and at the Village of Bensenville, it has never been easier to keep up to date with what's happening in our community. On your phone, PDA, PC, laptop, or tablet, the Village of Bensenville website offers easy integration, so you'll stay connected wherever you are.
Welcome back to Spotlight on Bensenville. My name is Frank D. Simone, Village Trustee, your host for this evening. Tonight we're discussing Bensenville Emergency Management with Don Schultz, the EMA Coordinator. Don, tell me a little bit about the equipment that you have at your disposal.
We have quite a bit of equipment. I mentioned earlier our involvement with the police department, fire department, with traffic control. We've got a vehicle set up that is primarily our traffic control vehicle with cones, the regulation size traffic signs to alert motorists to an emergency up ahead, that kind of thing. Traffic vests for all our volunteers, flashlights with the traffic wands, so again we can be out there, have the equipment that's needed to do the job safely.
You just mentioned some of your EMA volunteers. Who are they and where do they come from?
They come from all over. Primarily the majority of my current volunteer crew is from Bensenville. A couple of the volunteers, one's lives in Elmhurst, another gentleman works nearby but lives way out in Fox River Grove, but he'll come in and work with us. But usually from the immediate area, which is a nice thing to have. They're not coming from a long distance to step in and help.
How does someone become involved with the EMA?
If they find out about EMA through various means, some word of mouth through existing volunteers, generally contact me. I like to sit down with the person and just make sure they understand just exactly what is EMA. It's a volunteer organization, things that we are involved in, and just make sure that they're comfortable with that kind of thing, that we get calls all times of the day and night, and a lot of them, they're either younger, they might still be in school, college, or have a job, and obviously those have to come first. But we still encourage as much participation as I can possibly hope for from the volunteers.
What qualifications does someone need to be part of the EMA?
Really, just showing the interest to be involved. We provide the training to do everything that we get involved with. Traffic control. There's a class that we put the volunteers through. We'll provide first aid, CPR, AED training. Any severe weather when we do the tornado spotting. There's classes for that, and so just to have an interest and a willingness to get involved.
And we'll teach them the way.
And we'll give them the training that they need.
I've heard a little bit about CERT. Can you explain to the people what CERT is?
CERT is Citizens Emergency Response Training. We have a class that we've kind of modified a little bit that we call our Citizens Emergency Training, because it's not just response. It's meant also to be self-help. So if you're caught up in some large disaster event, chances are you may have to wait a little while for police or the medics, fire department to get there. What are the things that you need to know to take care of yourself, you and your family, for it could be hopefully not a long period of time, a day or so, but you never know, and depending on the scale of the event. So it's not just response training. Again, it's response plus self-help information is our CERT program.
When are these courses offered?
We try to offer them a little later in the year before the weather gets too cold and the snow starts to fly. So usually people are back from vacations, kids are back in school, and then we'll offer them. And generally they're one night a week, but they're spread out over 6, possibly 7 weeks, depending on how the class goes. If there's a lot of questions from the students, it may stretch it out a little bit. But 6 or 7 weeks, usually 21 hours worth of CERT training.
If the residents want preparedness information, where should they look?
One great place to go is the village website. You can go under departments, find emergency management, click on that tab, and it'll open up. You'll see all kinds of tabs that you can go to, and it'll have various preparedness information available there. Beyond that, there are links to the Illinois Emergency Management website, the FEMA website. Red Cross is another link that's included. And then, beyond that, then people can always call the office, and we can, get them to other, places if we haven't already done so through the website.
Other than the CERT courses, does EMA offer any other courses or any other training?
Just like I had mentioned, our first aid training and things like that.
Okay.
The severe weather spotting. Just trying to prepare the volunteers to do the job that we're asking them to get involved with and do for EMA and the village of Bensenville.
What does the EMA expect from new volunteers?
Just to get involved. I know they're not going to make every call. They're not going to make every one of our meetings, but get involved as much as they can, and try to help make our department, our village, a little better prepared and able to deal with an emergency or disaster situation.
When and where do you guys meet?
We meet at our station over on Green Street, 345 East Green, and we meet there once a week, Wednesday evenings, usually 7 to 10. Obviously, right now during the summer, we're up town center with Music in the Park, and that's a great means of, it's hands-on practical training for traffic control. It's a good starter for a lot of the new volunteers for the Music in the Park activity. But it's Wednesday evenings. We meet.
I hear you have a pretty cool new office over there in the new police station. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, very much so. Since moving from
a little bit bigger,
and that's, just the available space. You can actually spread out a little bit and not turn around and bump into things. The training room is bigger. Our communications room is bigger. It got more capabilities than we had previously. We have a conference room that we didn't have before, but that's great for emergency operations. That's a great breakout room for, executives to be able to go and they can huddle for whatever reason they might have to, and just it's such an improvement.
Well, the
step
space is
forward.
needed because it's not just going to be Bensenville that's going to particularly come. If it's a railroad incident, we may have railroad personnel.
Exactly. You're going to have outside agencies coming in to work with you with whatever the disaster event happens to be. And that space, even though it's so much bigger,
Right.
It's still going to get busy in that room. It's going to be very crowded.
I know a little bit about emergency preparedness. I realize that our police department is beautiful and we need that space. And everybody, even you, hopes that we never have to use that space,
that's true.
But
But
I appreciate that we're ready and we have volunteers that are willing and able. And I respect what you do. I thank you for what you do. Thank you for coming on our show. Thank you so much for joining us, and be sure to tune in next time, Spotlight on Bensenville. Thank you. Have a good night.